Hi, I'm Natalie Silver, uh, scholar at the University of Michigan. I started hearing about Spring Awakening when my babysitter uh, in seventh grade. I had younger sisters. She came back from the play a little after it came out, and she was playing the music. And I really liked it because it was like a pop sound. It was different for a musical. I was a big fan of John Gallagher Jr. I really liked his voice. I became a little bit obsessed with him. I thought he was just a great singer. It was like a really unique and original voice. He had great range. I just loved the way his voice sounded. I begged my parents to let me see Spring Awakening. I listened to it all the time, in the car, everywhere. I had everything memorized. I knew the whole story. I knew everything about it. I even went to the stage door for it to meet John Gallagher, and I did, and I freaked out a little bit. I begged my parents, and they said okay, but we want to see it first because they heard it was a little like risque and different. Parents saw it, and they said definitely not because they literally have sex on stage, and I was in seventh grade at the time. And my dad walked out in the middle. He hated it, but my dad also walked out on Rent, and I saw Rent, and I loved it, and so we kind of have differing views on them. I ended up begging them for a few more months, and finally in eighth grade, my mom let me see it without my dad knowing. So I went with a bunch of friends to see Spring Awakening, and I was so excited, and I thought I was going to cry when Moritz died, and I was just obsessed with John Gallagher Jr. I actually convinced her because he was going to leave in a few weeks, and I was like, Mom, if you don't let me see it, like, I'm just going by myself, like, that's it, I need to see it, and she said, okay. I saw it and I was expecting this amazing show. I was literally obsessed with it. I really loved the music. I loved the show, and I had these very high expectations, and they were completely just not met. And I was so upset. I actually cried. I was so disappointed. All that they put money into seemed to be the lights. There were like lights that were across the stage, different colored lights, and it was like, what is this? There was barely any set. It was just like chairs and stuff like that. It seemed like an off-Broadway musical, especially for something that won so many Tonys. Um, it also won the Tony for Best Choreography, and I distinctly remember passing by the theater with some of my friends, and I saw that it won Best Choreography because they had a sign up in front, and I said, Best Choreography. I didn't know masturbation counted as choreography. And I didn't know, but Leah Michelle was in front of me, and she turned around and kind of gave me a dirty look, and I thought it was funny. Also, the plot was just all over the place. And it was just like every bad thing that could happen in a musical just happened in that musical. There was a pregnancy, death, abortion, gay, uh, you know, doing badly in school, suicide. It was just like so many different issues in one thing that there was no real time to actually care about the character. So it was just like trying for a Tony so much, and just drama from everywhere. It was like an episode of Degrassi. There was just so many different things, and there was no character development. It tackled issues in a poor way, especially with emotional issues. Moritz's depression. There's a musical called Next to Normal that dealt with bipolar disorder in a much better way, because you actually started to care about the characters. And in this one, it's like, I don't understand Moritz's problem. Why does he need to run away? He was doing bad in school, but so is Jonathan Groff. Like, I don't get it. Also, there was another point with she was one of the ensemble or whatever where her dad touched her. There was like one song about it, and then it just wasn't addressed again. And so it's like, why did you even talk about it? Why are you introducing these plot points that just aren't addressed again? And it, for a musical that had such great music, the storyline was just so poor. A lot of people get some meaning out of it, but I feel like it has so many different issues that it tackles that anyone could get meaning out of it, but that actually takes meaning away from the overall thing because it just feels like they're trying to tackle too much. I want a few emotional points where it's like I really get a message. It seemed like Jonathan Groff, I sympathized with him, for wanting to know more about the world and how the parents didn't let them. But at the same time, it felt like he raped Leah Michelle. Like, that's what it seemed like when he was doing it because he pressured her so much and then she got pregnant. It's just like, where did this come from? Like, why did you even have sex in the first place? And I feel like they just got naked or whatever to be risque and it just was odd while they were singing on that bed that was like swinging and I was just like, what is going on? I still enjoy the music. I think John Gallagher Jr. is an amazing singer and it'd benefit to hear him sing Don't Do Sadness, stuff like that, which is just a great song vocally. It's also a great song lyrically, and Then There Were None is a great song. All That's Known is a great song. If it was just a soundtrack without a musical, I'd think it was the best thing ever, and still would be the best thing ever. The music is great, but the story and the plot is just terrible. The acting was eh. There was no set, no scenery. It just seemed like kind of a high school production with great music.